Welcome students to the second lecture of fluid mechanics. So the topic here we are going to discuss, that is fluid properties. So first important property of fluid we will discuss about specific weight, which is also known as unit weight, and we are denoting it as gamma. This symbol name is gamma. So specific weight is the weight of the fluid per unit volume. So it is the ratio of weight by volume. So we are knowing very well that unit of weight is Newton. Capital W is equal to M into G. So here we are getting unit of specific weight as Newton per meter cube. Now specific weight of water, if we will measure at 4 degrees Celsius, then it is 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube. So kilo here is 10 to power 3, or we can write like this, 9810 Newton per meter cube. So this is very important property of fluid, that is specific weight, which is also known as unit weight, or sometimes also we are calling it as weight density. Specific weight, unit weight, or weight density. Now, before that, one more important property we will see, that is density. So density is the ratio of mass by volume. So similar to the weight density, as weight density is the ratio of weight by volume, here density is the ratio of mass by volume. So unit of mass is kg and unit of volume is meter cube. So kg per meter cube is the unit of density, SI unit. And here density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1000 kg per meter cube. 1000 kg per meter cube. Now, another important property of fluid we will discuss, that is specific gravity, or another name is relative gravity. So here we are denoting it with capital S. Weight density we are denoting it as gamma, density as rho, and specific gravity as capital S. So specific gravity is the ratio of density or specific weight, density or specific weight of a fluid with respect to density or specific weight of water, which is considered as standard fluid at a temperature of 4 degrees Celsius. What does it mean? Specific gravity is the ratio of density of any fluid. For example, density of mercury, it is 13,600. Now, if we are interested to know what is the specific gravity of mercury, so we have to divide density of mercury with density of water. So we are knowing very well that density of water is 1000. So when we will divide density of mercury, that is 13600 with 1000, we will get specific gravity of mercury, that is 13.6. So specific gravity is equal to here 13600 divided by 10 to power 3. So it will be 13.6. So this is the specific gravity of mercury, and here it is dimensionless quantity. So very important thing is that if we are knowing specific gravity of any fluid, then we can find its density, and vice versa. For example, if a specific gravity of an oil is 0.8, generally specific gravity of oil is always less than 1. So what will be its density? Just what we have to do, we have to multiply with 1000. So 0.8 into 1000, we will get 800 kg per meter cube. So this is the density of that particular oil. So this is very important property which we have to remember. Now next fluid property we will see about dynamic viscosity. So viscosity is the measure of a fluid resistance to the internal shear stress. Suppose we have collected fluid in a vessel like this, and when we are trying to move that particular vessel from one position to another, so the adjacent layer of fluid one above another, it will try to move in lateral direction. So the internal resistance will be offered by this layer, which is known as viscosity. It is just similar to friction in solids. So here we have to know about dynamic viscosity and kinematic viscosity, and they are related. So dynamic viscosity SI unit is Newton second per meter square or Pascal second. So there is a formula here which is known as Newton's law of viscosity. So the formula is tau is equal to mu into du by dy. Here mu is the dynamic viscosity and du by dy is the rate of change of this velocity. So du by dy represent here velocity gradient. So when we are multiplying viscosity with this du by dy term, we are getting stress, shear stress. So this is known as Newton's law of viscosity. So here very important thing I would like to discuss about viscosity, that viscosity increases for gases when temperature increases, because in a gases, suppose gases we are storing in some particular container which is airtight. Now as we are increasing the temperature, the particles, gaseous molecules, it will start striking with each other. Entropy or randomization will increase, which will create more hindrance, more resistance. So viscosity will increase for gases if temperature is increasing. But in the case of liquid, the case is converse. As we will increase the temperature, viscosity reduces. For example, if you will take the case of honey, it is a fluid. So when temperature we are going to increase, the honey will start melting and it can easily flow. So resistance is reduced. So temperature plays a very crucial role in viscosity for liquid as well as gases. So this is a diagram showing a variation of shear stress with respect to this velocity gradient du by dy. Now another field properties we will see about surface tension. So this is the capacity of liquids to resist tensile stresses at their surface, and the unit here, SI unit of surface tension, is Newton per meter. After all, we will see about various types of fluids. So fluids can be categorized into various types like ideal fluid, real fluid. So generally all fluid are real in nature. An ideal fluid is a hypothetical fluid which is having no viscosity and it is incompressible in nature. So practically there is no ideal fluid which exists. So real fluids are compressible in nature and they have some viscosity. Example, kerosene, petrol, oil, etc. Now here we will classify based on Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluid. So Newtonian fluid means which obeys Newton's law of viscosity. So what is Newton's law of viscosity? Already we have seen that once again I am showing. It is tau is equal to mu into du by dy. Okay, or we can say mu is equal to tau into dy by du. So if any fluid is obeying this law, Newton's law of viscosity, then we will call it as Newtonian fluid, otherwise non-Newtonian fluid. So a real fluid in which the shear stress is directly proportional to rate of shear strain or velocity gradient, du by dy, we are calling it as velocity gradient or rate of shear strain. Okay, then that particular fluid is obeying Newton's law of viscosity and they are known as Newtonian fluid. For a Newtonian fluid, viscosity is entirely dependent upon the temperature and pressure of the fluid. Example, water, air, emulsion, these are all Newtonian fluid. While the converse case, it is of non-Newtonian fluid. Fluids that do not obey Newton's law of viscosity are known as non-Newtonian fluid. Example, flubber, oblique, suspension of starch in water. These are non-Newtonian fluid. Now, another type of fluid is ideal plastic fluid, a fluid in which shear stress is more than yield value. A fluid in which shear stress is more than yield value, and shear stress is proportional to rate of shear strain. So this is known as ideal plastic fluid. So in this graph, we will try to see various types of fluid. So in y-axis abscissa, it is y-axis ordinate, it is shear stress, and x-axis abscissa, it is velocity gradient. So suppose any fluid which is following Newton's law of viscosity, this, then we will call it as Newtonian fluid. Tau is directly proportional to du by dy, linear line. Then it is Newtonian fluid. If it is not following this path, then it is non-Newtonian fluid. And some are ideal fluid, which we can see, which is coinciding with this particular x-axis. So ideal fluid means which is not having any component of velocity gradient. And ideal solid will be also the case when there is no shear stress. Shear stress is zero. And one more type of case is ideal plastic fluid, where we can see at a certain distance shear stress it is increasing, and then it is linear. Ideal plastic fluid. So this is all about various types of fluid. Thank you so much.